Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm today going to solve Leetcode daily challenge problem number 427. Construct quad tree. So this is a really lengthy problem to read, and it was really I really got intimidated after reading this, and after having the first look at the question. But at the crux, it's a really simple problem to understand. So I want to use a figure to actually explain what exactly we will have to do. So what we are doing is we will get this matrix, right? We'll get a n cross n matrix, and we have to prepare a quad tree. So quad tree is what? Quad tree is basically a tree in which uh, every node will have either four what do you say, like four childrens or zero children. Okay. So this type of tree is called a quad tree. And what we have to do is we have to break down this matrix in such a way that every block, for example, let's say this is a sub block, right? In the 8 cross 8 matrix, this is a grid, let's say. Okay. All elements in this grid is same, right? Similarly in this grid as well, for this grid as well. But if you check out this grid, like the second quadrant, I would say, we can, again create four subgrids as well, right? So this arrange, we'll have to basically map this kind of arrangement into the tree. So what we're going to do is we will be using a recursive approach, okay? And one more thing like which I would like to mention over here is, for example, take these two quadrants, okay? The green one and the yellow one. I will be considering the top left element to represent the position of the whole subgrid or the grid. Okay. For example, the green grid is represent will be represented by 0, 0. Similarly, the yellow one will be represented by what? 0 plus n by 2, right? Comma C. So C is 0, like the column number is 0. We had 8 rows, so 8 by 2 is 4. So 4, comma 0. So if you check 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, correct, right? And we'll do this exactly same kind of arithmetic on uh, second quadrant and fourth quadrant as well. So let's move to the solution and I'll explain you what exactly we will be doing. Okay, so in the solution, first thing is I want to create a DFS function which I'll be using in the main part. Okay, so this will be the function which I want to use further. And let me just zoom in a little bit. Yeah, and I will expect three values in it. What those three values will be: n, which will represent the size of the grid; r and c. R and c will basically represent the location of that grid. For example, in the explanation we saw, we had 0, 0, which was represented by quadrant one, right? So this is what we are defining over here. Now I want to define a variable. Like we want to check if all the elements in a grid is same or are same or not, right? So let me define a default variable which will keep true as the default value. So I am assuming right now that all the elements in the grid are same. But to check, I will have to run a loop into the grid which we have received. Okay. So what we are doing is for I in range n, for j in range n as well. Okay. So next thing is what we have to do is we have to check if grid of grid at sorry I rather say at R and C, sorry, C is equal to in not equal to instead, because what we are checking is like if the first element and all other elements in the grid are exactly same or not. If not, let me complete this. R plus I and C plus I. If not, I want to update the value of this variable to false. And I want to break the loop over here. Okay, once we are done with this condition, what I want to do is I want to check, like after completing these for loop, if I have all the same elements in the grid, I will just simply return a node with grid, what was that? R and C, right? Yeah, with grid R and C as your nodes. This will be a leaf node as well, right? In this pattern, we are giving the value first and the if it's a leaf node or not. So if all the elements are same, we don't want to further divide that, right? So this leaf will be true as well. Okay. If not, in that case, what you want to do is you want to divide the grid into the other half, right? So to do that, let me just divide that into two halves. So I have taken floor division so that I always get a proper integer value. And I think they must have, designed the test cases in a way that we will get a integer value with the divisions as well, right? So top left, like the first quadrant which I was saying, the it will be basically represented by what? N, R, and C. We don't need to do anything with the quadrant, right? Because 0, 0, let's say, for the first wall. Then moving on, top right. Top right was what? Your C, like we want to add into the columns, right? C plus N. Let me just copy paste these. Sorry. Bottom left and bottom right. It should be bottom left and bottom right. So for left, we want to increment the value in R and C will remain as is. And in for bottom right, we will have to increment in both R plus N. Okay. Once we get all these values, we just want to return a node, and we can keep any value into it, like because let's assume this as a root node for another bifurcation or another division, and we can have any value stored in it. And what we wanted, like, is this a leaf node? No, this was not a leaf node. And then we have to pass on these values, right? So I'm just copying and pasting it right over here. Okay, so we are done with this DFS function. At last, I'll just initiate this with length as, sorry, length as grid size and what was the other thing? R and C. R and C as 0 and 0, right? Let's check out the test cases now. Let's see. Okay, we are missing something. Okay. Output 1, 0, and we missed all of it. I must have done something in this part. Let me check. BFS NRC4 access looks fine. And C% looks good. Looks good. Top left, top right, yeah. DFS and the grid. Okay. So, there was a typo over here. It should have been C plus J. Let's check out the definition now. And the test case is not clear. Let's submit for further evaluation. And awesome. So the solution got accepted and we performed really well. Like we have performed 95.5% of the submitted solution. So yeah. Thanks again guys for watching out the video and stay tuned with upcoming ones. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you.